Superman 2025, hashtag wallets closed or wallets open. How'd it go?
Well, Aaron, since you've seen it twice, how about you start us out?
I'll say before I saw it, I was definitely on the side of hate. But as soon as I did actually see it, I actually kind of quickly changed. It was so far from the other ones that have been released. Within 10 minutes of the movie, after he gets rejuvenated by a bunch of yellow sun, he's like, gee golly. I loved that. It just cracked me up. I liked the lighthearted take on it. Superman is the man of good. He always chooses the right way. Like, even as bad as people were treating him, he still came back. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So I want to hop back real quick. You were on the Haterade train in the beginning because you were a Cavill fan.
Exactly. Yes. And I was like, oh, Coruscant is going to shit the bed. I didn't even want to give him a chance. It did not take long for me to like actually quickly like him. You know, I dug the look because they kind of went back a little bit more retro. I liked how he played Clark. I thought he did a good job. The other thing I really dug is, I'm not gonna lie, I have the soundtrack already. I've listened to it a few times. Quirky, goofy, just like, you know, Guardians does. Technically, I've actually seen it 3 times.
Well, there you go.
Damn. All right, so while it's open for Aaron.
Yeah,
then.
for me. Yeah.
Okay. Seth, how about you?
Why don't you take this, Nick? I'll go last.
That's all right. 2 scoops of haterade coming this way.
There were certain moments, right? Like the whole golly gee thing. Like when I heard that in the beginning, I'm like, okay, all right. They might actually know how to write Superman now. And then I felt like it kind of fell off, right? My issue is, out of all of the superheroes, Superman is the most epic of them all. He has the John Williams score from the original, 1978 one with Christopher Reeves, and they even take a few of the notes from that theme and they put it in an electric guitar, right? A couple riffs, right? So when I heard that in the trailer, I'm like, holy crap, they might actually be going back to that, like paying like homage to it. They didn't. I think this movie had the same issue that the Man of Steel movies had and then the Superman Returns have. There was not enough Clark Kent. The vast majority is just Superman. So Superman is not unique. He's Superman the whole time. There were 2 Clark Kent scenes, like genuine Clark Kent scenes. When he goes to the Daily Planet, that was good. When he's like goofing off with Lois Lane afterward, and he's like, did you see how we fooled them? They leaned into Clark Kent is actually his disguise. Superman who is who he actually is. That was good. But again, he was Superman for the rest of the time until he gets injured and then he goes to the Kent farm. I didn't like the Kents. They were so over the top country that it was a bit comical.
I was going to ask about this specifically.
Yeah, all of the Kents, from the Christopher Reeves to the Brandon Routh. Well, in Brandon Routh, it was only Martha Kent because, you know, Jonathan's already dead. To Smallville's Kents, to Man of Steel Kents, I felt they were all significantly better. The going back to the farm, the Kent moment is supposed to be like the grounding, like bring it back to earth, make Superman relatable, and they just kind of came off as goofy. James Gunn does not do epic well. Like, I think he's really good with like obscure stories, like Guardians of the Galaxy. I love all the Guardians of the Galaxies. I think he did great because they were an obscure IP. He could really be unique with all the characters. They are counterculture characters, which goes perfectly with his sensibilities. Superman is not that. He is the complete opposite. He is the Boy Scout, and James Gunn refuses to write that type of character. He has to undermine like certain sensibilities. That's built within him. He has to do it, right? So like Clark's comment that he's punk rock and Lois Lane makes fun of him about like, no, you're not punk rock. And he's like, maybe that is punk rock. No, Superman would never claim to be punk rock. I know what James Gunn was trying to go for, being like, now in this day and age, to be a square, to be a good, upstanding citizen and things like that, that is different. But it's like just everything he did kind of pulled away. I would say what really turned me, because like I like the brightness look. I like the colors. There were definitely certain things that I did like that he touched on. But the thing that really turned me in the movie is the choice for Jor-El. First off, Marlon Brando played Jor-El in the original Superman, and he had an amazing speech. Even Zack Snyder understood the importance of that and touches on that in Man of Steel. Like, that is what Superman is supposed to be. And then what James Gunn has to do, because, oh, I can't be anything like that. First off, it sounds like they're speaking Portuguese the whole time. And it seems like that the actors, and I love Bradley Cooper, are just reading off a cue card, like some Portuguese, like a Google Translate, when they're supposedly speaking in Kryptonian. But then when it's translated, we love you more than heaven. We love you more than land. It's like, what? Take a harem, my son. Spread your seed. Rule them like a god. It's like, okay, first off, if you're going to go like the Red Sun route, you know, where he is kind of like bad because he's raised by the Soviet Union, at least make the speech like amazing and like dark and stuff like that. Not like, we love you more than Chipotle. It's like, what? Everyone should pause this video and go back to the original Marlon Brando speech and then watch the speech in this Superman and be like, what the fuck? That's my issue. And I have a dozen others. We don't have time for it. James Gunn is what did not line up with Superman. And what scares the living shit out of me is he's heading the universe, and they've already said he's writing and directing the next 1 to 2 movies after Superman. And my thing is, it's like, if you want to be like an overall like director of like just making sure all the storylines fit, that's cool. Hey, write a Lobo script. That would be perfect for James Gunn. He should write Lobo and direct it, but with like iconic characters like Superman, like Batman, like Wonder Woman, he should stay the fuck away from them because like, and I swear to God, he cannot fucking touch Batman because it will turn into like the fucking kooky 1960s Batman. Just stick to the material. Not everything has to be so far off base to like surprise everyone. It's like, just be genuine to the material and you can write good stories. Like, I'm going to shut up now.
All right. Wallet's closed for Nick. James Gunn, what you doing, bro? So let's talk about that real quick. You touched on they kind of made the parents bad, right? They make it so that's the twist that Lex Luthor uses to get everyone to turn on Superman. Have they ever done that before, Nick? You mentioned Red Sun version.
No.
Well, even then it isn't. So
yeah, because he's not raised by the Kents in that. What happens is he crashes in the Soviet Union instead of the United States. And what the cool thing about that is they show how important Kal-El's raising is to where like
with how
exactly.
he's like, how he's fostered and everything else like that.
So in Red Sun, he stands for truth, justice, and the Soviet way. The actual Superman stands for truth, justice, and the American way.
Another thing that stood out that you guys already touched on was the parents. I didn't mind it. I did still get that feeling, Nick, that is the grounding moment for Superman. But the casting choice, the accents were so strong. It definitely stood out to me. I was like, wow, I can't tell if this is a bold, intentional choice. Like they're not quote unquote beautiful actors and actresses playing these roles. If you think about the comparison to the Man of Steel, who has Kevin Costner
and
Diane Lane, right?
But they still pulled off country. They just weren't comical country, right? Like, I doubt it was someone like in the planning stage being like, hey man, we're really losing people in Nebraska. Make them more fucking country. It's like, sprinkle in more redneck, man.
I would say this, so I'm going to counter a little bit. They did make Martha Kent a little bit like, Paul's over here thinking, and that's that silly thing on the TV and stuff like that.
On the box.
Yeah, on the box. Like that part I thought was a little ridiculous. And I think they definitely went over the top because it almost undermined the fact that, I mean, Smallville, the whole premise of Smallville really is the relationship between Clark and them. No matter what, he always has them to fall back on. I really didn't care for the casting of Paul, but I think actually the part where he sits on the bench and tells him the fact of, we're not here to get you to do right or wrong. I think that kind of makes up a little bit. And I liked that interaction. The rest of it, like, oh, Paul's weak anytime you're saying something about his boy, I thought was a little knock at, honestly, like a knock at country people. What it made me think of, honestly, is, Earl and, Walter. Like, wait a second. We're going to see, hey, there's some gators over here.
Yeah, which for our viewers, that's our kin, that are very country, right?
Hold on while I grab my harmonica as I'm going 70 miles an hour.
I know I'm going off on a tangent, but Man of Steel is definitely too dark, right? I would say genuinely, if you compare the two movies for Man of Steel against this Superman, Zack Snyder is a better writer than James Gunn.
I actually wouldn't argue that. I think you're right.
And like, for the Smallville scenes and stuff like that, like I remember distinctly watching Man of Steel and wanting more scenes with Jonathan and Martha Kent. I'm like, these are so well done. And yes, part of it is the actors, because they're both excellent actors. But like, it was just that dynamic. It was done so well. I'm like, man, you need more of the Kents in this. Like, what are you doing? And then in Superman, you're like, God damn it, can we just wrap this up? Like,
quick trivia, and this isn't about this movie, but Diane Lane, the John Bon Jovi song "You Give Love a Bad Name" was apparently written about her.
Oh,
really?
Martha Kent.
So look that up, you guys. Look that up.
Yeah. Now I want to. My Google search will regret it.
Oh, and real quick, yet another tangent. And I know I complained to Aaron about this. Okay, Hawkgirl.
Screeching.
What the fuck is up with that screeching? I'm like, that is the dumbest. Everything you're making is like hacky about this. There are entertaining parts about Guy Gardner.
Great.
I like Mr. Terrific as a character. They made him a little bit too stereotypical with like, motherfucker, I'm terrific, which is not.
All right, hang on. I actually liked that.
No.
I'm here to help you. Get on my way. God damn it. I'm terrific. That was almost my favorite line in the whole movie.
Mr. T.
I understand that, and that was funny, but that's not how Mr. Terrific is in the cartoon. I mean, in the comics,
because he's super intelligent.
Please limit the negative comments on this, everyone. We appreciate your thoughts. Definitely share.
Hey, just direct them towards me, because these other two guys are God-fearing, loving Americans that can appreciate,
that's right,
a summer popcorn movie. I'm just the hater.
No, but seriously, I mean, what does everyone else think? Leave your comments. Did you like this iteration of Superman? Did you like making Superman's Kryptonian parents bad? What's your take on that?
And did you like the drunken sorority girl? I mean, Supergirl at the end?
Supergirl at the end? Yeah. All right, so let's talk about Lex Luthor.
Yeah, thank you, Seth, for talking about Nicholas Hoult. Personally, I think he did phenomenal. And I love Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor. Everyone else, pretty much, I haven't liked very much. I thought they all have sucked. Jesse Eisenberg, like, he ruined. He was like garbage. Like, honestly, as much as like Cavill, I hated Eisenberg. Like, I've struggled not rewatching stuff because of him. But Hoult, I think, did great. He made you love him and hate him at the same time. It was like he was like passionate about it. And just some of the X5, X9. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wait, am I playing Battleship? Like, sunk your Battleship, bitch? I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought he acted his ass off. And he did well with the bald head, too.
I will say this at the end of the movie, when he's like being arrested and the cop throws him in the car and he says, get your bald ass in there. I felt that. I was like, God damn. Like, I mean, who wrote that?
A dude with a full head of hair. James Gunn.
That's right.
Did anyone enjoy the quirkiness of Maxwell Lord? Because he's going to be a bigger part in Peace. Yeah, James Gunn's brother, Peacemaker. But he'll be a bigger part in Peacemaker 2. And apparently, that Peacemaker 2 is going to be months after Superman. It ties in, and then it will then tie into the Green Lantern. I like how they're talking about how they're intertwining this stuff.
I wanted to talk about Nathan Fillion as
Okay.
Green
All right.
Lantern. Very much had his little kind of comic parts, which I enjoyed thoroughly. I wish he was in it a little bit more. My only thing, talk to me about the lore of Green Lantern in the universe, because I thought the Lanterns were like much more powerful, and it almost kind of seemed like his power just seems diminished compared to Superman. Like they struggled to fight that first big creature when Clark Kent are having their moment in the apartment. You can see him fighting in the background in the sky. Like I thought like the Lanterns were powerful enough that like those are like non-issues for them.
So there's different things. The Lanterns there's one spirit. So each of them have different, I would almost say, levels. And as it's like gone from golden to silver to modern to whatever the hell it's called now, it has changed because they've even changed some. I mean, hell, for a little bit of time, they made Hal Jordan, which is another ultimate good, one of the ultimate evils.
What, like Parallax or something?
Parallax, yeah. But one's inner being does have a play in it, and as they are a lantern for longer, it helps also they kind of develop more stuff and they train more stuff. And then there's another thing of like the creativity, because it's what they can see inside their head they can project. So I didn't have an issue with how they did it, because of, I mean, Guy Gardner is an asshole in the comics, and I liked how they let Fillion be an asshole. So that part was actually pretty good. As a matter of fact, I mean, he actually was less of an asshole than sometimes Gardner is in the comics, but there are different versions. Like sometimes Gardner does get kind of creative and do some wonky things. Like the part that to me that was kind of funny was like, I made mittens. I actually, he would say crap like that. After I saw it the first time, I was kind of like you, Seth. I actually was wishing he had been in a little bit more. But when I saw it the second time, I understood why they didn't, because he is right away going over to Lanterns, and they needed to kind of develop Mr. Terrific a little bit. I think that if he had been a bigger, more pivotal part, it would have taken away from Mr. Terrific. Because of, I don't think they could have done both of them. Like, I can't see how, like when they go to get him and he's in
the pocket universe.
The pocket universe.
When they're trying to get Superman. Yeah.
They couldn't have Guy and Mr. Terrific doing it, otherwise they'd have whipped an ass. So they had to have one or the other. So if they had put Guy there, then you wouldn't have had that quirky part. That truthfully, that part really, as soon as, I mean, it was goofy. I did dig the song, but it was goofy, the little orbs and stuff popping at people and knocking them all over. But it had the Rocket Raccoon fight feel. Like it was like, wait, this is Rocket Raccoon, and
agree.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of, that was the part that kind of made me, wait, I do like Mr. Terrific. Like, I do like what they're doing with them. Like, I did struggle a little bit, and I do agree with Nick. They did make him a little too quirky, because Mr. Terrific is basically another version of Bruce Wayne. Like, he is really smart, really matter of fact. It's all like, he's just more computer and tech wise, but doesn't have superpowers. He just is smart as hell and knows how to use tech.
So what'd you guys think about the clone reveal?
It actually didn't shock me. When they did Ultraman, so when they first did the Hammer of Moravia, I was like, okay, well, the previews already said there was Ultraman. I'm like, well, it's Ultraman. And then as soon as Ultraman was there, and they showed the Fortress of Solitude, and when they walked up to it and it opened up, I'm like, well, first off, I know the backstory, and they're not going to be able to adjust this part. It is per DNA. I'm like, yeah, they cloned him. And then in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's a clone, and this is how they're going to bring in or twist the something else. And then as it moved on and on, I'm like, oh, this is a Bizarro twist. But I mean, it didn't bother me. I'm not saying that I was upset by it, but there was no shock to me. And I don't know if it's just from reading the comics. a lot. It was kind of like you had I can't remember the chick's name in it or whatever they had, and the Fortress of Solitude goes down, and then you roll up there, and then the Fortress of Solitude comes up and then opens immediately. So it's like you're not going to throw the Lex Luthor twist. That's not it. It's So clone. There you go.
I knew instantly it wasn't actually Ultraman, right? Because Ultraman in the comics is just a different universe version of Superman. He's like part of the syndicate, right? So it's all like the evil versions of the Justice League that have taken over their planet Earth and like rule the Earth like a god. It's an alternate universe, right? And that's Ultraman's evil. Superman is called Ultraman in that. And instantly I knew, okay, well, this isn't actually Ultraman, because Ultraman is definitely not going to be told what to do by Lex Luthor or anyone else. And he doesn't dress anything like that, doesn't act anything like that. So this is just, a disguise, and it's going to be someone else, right? And then with the DNA and everything like that, I'm like, okay, well, all right, so they're gonna kind of do Bizarro, but not really, which is ultimately what the character became. Is
All right, well, let us know in the comments if you like that. If you like the clone.
Yeah. Let us know. Like, what did you think? And did you think that, like, the whole Xbox controlling was entertaining or not?
Right. Well, and then also I'd like to hear from people if they think that pretty much all Superman movies suffer from the same issue of not having a powerful enough supervillain, right? Because honestly, I mean, Man of Steel had Zod, and it was done all right. And then Superman, I think Superman 2 was done probably the best as far as villains go, when it was Zod and his two, yes. And Neil before Zod and everything like that. But that was just, really good actor, and Terrence Stamp playing Zod. So
I think when it comes to that, so since we're talking about it, I think Superman animated series, can we agree that that's a really good show?
Yes.
Agreed, right? But it's a series, and it has Luthor in it a lot. So Luthor's fighting him quite a bit. So it doesn't have super epic stuff all the time, but then it intertwines some super epic. So I think personally with Superman, it would be difficult because if you have to build something and you can't throw Mongul in it right away, or you can't throw Darkseid in it right away. Otherwise, I mean, let's be honest, you kind of shit the bed. Like, my biggest qualm with the Zack Snyder ones, I loved Man of Steel. I really did. My really only complaint of Man of Steel was two things. I can even get over the dark. I can't. I didn't like that he killed Zod. I thought that was bullshit. Because he doesn't kill. And I didn't think they teased you with there was going to be a lot of Clark Kent, but there wasn't. It was kind of like, he's fisherman. It was like they just like kind of like dabbled it in there. Yeah. So those are really my only two complaints. I think Cavill did phenomenal, and it wasn't his fault. It was just what was given to him. Then they jumped to, instead of Man of Steel 2, which people, not just me, not just comic nerd saying it, but people say it all the time. They should have done Man of Steel 2. But they got worried and they tried to go for the box office and did the bullshit Batman vs. Superman. And then it's like, and they did it because it's like, we need to pull a new Batman in. Bale's not coming back. We need to pull a new Batman in. And I liked Ben Affleck as Batman, but we pull him in, we fight, and now we can introduce Wonder Woman. And I also really liked Wonder Woman 1, the movie, and I even liked how they introduced her in that. But they showed their hand too quickly. That should have been later on. They should have done Man of Steel. So I think it's tough because of, you have to build something up. So it definitely could have been more epic, hands down. It could have been, because it wasn't epic. To me, the saving grace, and I'll stand by it. And again, we all have opinions. It's fine. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that I hate a lot, but I liked the really lighthearted part of it. I can overlook some of the goofy stuff. I had higher hopes. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I had a lot higher hopes for for Hawkgirl, because I was like, okay, I didn't like Hawkman in Black Adam, not because I don't like that actor. I like that actor. I just didn't like how they portrayed him, and it just didn't fit. So I was like, oh, hopefully they get it right here, because Hawkgirl is pretty pivotal in the Justice League and Justice League season 2 and Justice League Unlimited and all of that stuff. You know, I mean, whether I agree or not, that because she wasn't really super pivotal in the, Justice League comics, but they put her in there and it made sense. And, I liked how they wrote her in. So I was hoping they'd do it. And I don't think they did a great job. I think they can do better. I think the girl that they have portraying her can do better. I mean, I enjoyed her dropping the guy, like, I'm not Superman, boop, and then it pans over to Alka-Seltzer. Yeah, but I think there's hope, pun intended, but I do agree on the stance of, I do hope he lets the reins up on some of the stuff. He's definitely going to put his hand at Supergirl. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. I'm actually struggling again. But again, like I said, I started this out. I was struggling. I didn't really want to see this, but I'll see it. I'm not sure I'm sold on who they got as the actress, but
yeah. Well, and
we'll see.
so I just need to push back real quick on some what you were saying as far as what they were going to do as far as introduction, and that Lex Luthor isn't throughout Superman animated series and stuff like that. And the reason why is because people think that you can't trickle in things and do like a slow burn on stuff. Okay. So how does the original Superman 1978 begin? It begins on Krypton, and it begins on the trial of Zod. Terrence Stamp has about 2 minutes in the original Superman, but that lays the groundwork for him to be the big bad in Superman 2. Now, the majority of Superman 2 was filmed during the same time as Superman 1, right? Richard Donner was actually making both of them until he was fired before he could finish up the second one. But that was you don't have to have like a big bad, like a Mongul or like a Darkseid or like a Brainiac or something like that as the main villain in the first one, but they can allude to, they can even just touch on it for like 2 minutes, because they did it perfectly in the first Superman. So by the time Superman 2 came around like 3 years later and Zod came in, you're like, oh shit. Because in that small period of time, they established Zod's complete and utter hatred for the entire house of El, from Jor-El to Kal-El and everything in between, right? So it made him even bigger and badder in the second one. In Superman the Animated Series, the original, like the pilot episode, I think it's like a 3-parter, they introduced Brainiac in it.
Brainiac.
And
Yeah,
they
you're
even
right.
show that Brainiac is the reason why Krypton is wiped out. The Kryptonians are wiped out, right? Because he keeps on changing all the data. So the council don't believe Jor-El when he keeps on trying to warn everybody that, hey, Krypton's going to blow up. So no one takes precautions. And the only Kryptonian that's able to be saved is Kal-El, right? So, like, yes, there isn't like the big bad in the first 3 episodes of Superman animated series is just like a thug in like a mech suit, right? But Brainiac is introduced, something heinous is shown that he did, and he comes in later on. So it's like that build. So it's like you can very easily add a few extra minutes in and really build something like amazing, so people are looking forward and have kind of an idea of what's going to happen in maybe Superman 2 or 3. Like Marvel did this with Thanos, right?
Thanos, the
He
extra,
was
yeah.
very just like sprinkled in here and there, and by the time he really showed up in Infinity War and walks through that portal, you're like, shit. So it's like, it can be done.
I mean, I don't know if they will, which meaning they probably won't, but they could fix that in a director's cut. They could intertwine. Like, I don't know. I don't know if part of it was trying to keep total budget costs down, because there was such a widespread. It's like this might be like 125 million, but it could go all the way up to 250 million with like advertisement and everything else like that. And, let's try to keep it down that way. We make it profitable enough because this is the first boot. And I'm not saying that's the right thought process, but right now with, DECU before it got, closed down, that's what, make or break the show. Because the only reason Aquaman 2 got greenlit was because of Aquaman 1 did so well, and then 2 shit the bed. And it was the same with, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. Now, I think Wonder Woman 2 was garbage, but I don't think it was a fair shake because of it released at COVID, So even though I think it was garbage, others may have it may have got a better stamp if it hadn't been right in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
But I digress.
I mean, they were so obsessed with making all these pocket universes and rifts and different stuff like that. Here's a thought. You're dealing with all of these alternate universe villains and villains from outer space. How about Lex Luthor being reckless, which they showed him being reckless and making rifts in time and space and alternate universes that brings Earth to the attention of Darkseid or Mongul. Or
just even
Brainiac,
a shadow or something.
Like that. Yeah. Have Darkseid come up to Darkseid and be like, hey, we were just, this was just brought to my attention, Lord, or something like that. And he's just looking down and be like, what is this? I don't know, brainstorming.
All right.
Go ahead and place a comment if you agree. And if you don't agree.
Seth is we need to wrap this fucking shit up. That's what Seth's saying.
All right, no, but to wrap this piece up about Superman, what's something, and Nick, you hit this pretty hard on what you don't like. I don't know if I heard one thing you liked about the movie. Is there something you liked?
I liked that this shit ended. No, I'm kidding.
Damn.
You're going to have to come back to me because it's going to take a minute. Okay. I did like that Green Lantern, Guy Gardner came in at the end, and kind of did his swagger, snide, fucking just flipping all the tanks and everything like that. That was well done.
What about the comment? Hey, y'all, sorry Superman's going to be here, but you got an upgrade?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was great.
That was good. Yeah.
And you know what? I think he's the perfect complement if you give him a little bit more screen time in the next one. Because Superman is supposed to be the Boy Scout, the goody two-shoes, you need that level of edge from somebody, right?
Yes.
And I think if you can have that from him, that's a really good compliment.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, you did say something else, Nick. What about how the Hall of Justice?
Yes. Yeah. I loved when they showed the Hall of Justice. I'm like, this is right out of the cartoon, the comic.
Super Friends, right? It legit was I just needed a rainbow going across the screen or something.
That was perfect. I loved that. That right there. I felt the smile on my face when I saw the Hall of Justice. I'm like, oh, thank God. Yes.
All right. Take note, everyone. That was a compliment from Nick. Yeah. Do you agree? Let us know.
Okay.
All right, so Aaron, Seth, what did you? Because we've been battling each other. Haterade versus
versus actually joy and happiness.
Yeah.
I liked the Lantern. I liked Mr. Terrific, and this might be a little controversial. I wasn't a huge fan of Krypto. Not how he looked, but I think I was expecting more of a Rocket Raccoon character, and because they made him more of a regular dog that runs around and just does silly stuff, I don't know, I felt that it was annoying because he needed Superman needed genuine help from him, and he was just a regular dog and he just ran around and chased Mr. Terrific's orbs and caused problems, and for some reason I was annoyed by that. I know I probably shouldn't have been, but for me, every scene, I was just like, oh, get this dog out of this scene at this point. Get Krypto out of here.
There's nothing wrong with that one. It was not like the comic. There was other things that I felt like he followed suit. Again, maybe controversial. I think that there was some things that he did follow suit well on the comics. Actually, Dad didn't actually like how the Superman bots were portrayed because, in some of the comics, or earlier comics, the Superman bots actually looked like Superman. But later on, when you get to the later versions of Silver Age and Modern Age, they do have some that aren't that actually look like what they portrayed. So I actually thought that part was good, but yeah, definitely wasn't portrayed. I think they went the route of I think Gunn got his way on that. Like, let's make it extra goofy to the 10th power. Like, I was kind of hoping that it would like dull down, and it didn't. It actually just got more. That was my biggest complaint. I was just gonna keep quiet because I knew that Nick didn't like that. But yeah, no, I that's the second sip of haterade that I had to take was Krypto. I mean, the CG didn't bother me. Like, when I've read some of the comics, like some people griped about that, like you could have just got a regular dog. That CG didn't bother me at all. It was just as it moved forward, he just got goofier and goofier, and like, uh tearing up stuff and
Yeah, Krypto
shooting up
had
the
no arc.
orbs, and even
Yeah.
the Mr. Terrific. God damn it, those things are expensive. Like, it's like, and then at the end, him being destructive and chewing shit up, that's what saves the day. I'm like, come on now, this is some bullshit. Where's your, laser eyes? That blasts that shit, not the crazy ass dog.
Now, the breed of Krypto also changes over the years in the comics, right? They're not consistent with the type of dog that Krypto is.
First I recall is a smaller white dog.
Yeah.
Well, not
But
small, but like medium sized. Yeah, short hair.
medium size, more like I mean, a lot of times it's almost like a medium gray houndish because it's shorter hair, but the dog is intelligent. So it's
Dog is
not
acting like a Cocker Spaniel.
Supergirl's dog. It's that was the other thing that I was like, oh, I'm dog sitting. It's like, no, not drunk older cousin.
Right. So Supergirl will probably be, that's hinting at something, right? We talked about hinting at supervillains. Obviously, Supergirl is going to be a bigger part of the next movie.
Yeah. It'll be
We're
all about
assuming.
her. I am curious to see, because we all know, because it's officially been said, and Momoa's even said it too and stated it. But I'm curious if they end up making Lobo the big bad, or if he's just sprinkled in there. Part of me thinks they're just going to sprinkle him in there, and it's going to be something else. They're going to build it up, they're hype it up, and he won't be in it much. That's my conspiracy theory thoughts. And actually, part of me kind of hopes that, because I really don't feel that would be, I almost feel like that would be the Batman versus Superman. Like sprinkle him in, let him see there, give us a little taste, and then let him have a standalone. That
Right.
Gunn can go all out and just be like, here's a fucked up movie.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if it's just going to be like a bar fight scene, right? Like if he's just going to get, because obviously they're portraying her as a sorority girl to where all she does is just get drunk, right? So are they just going to get drunk and like fight each other? Is that going to be like an opening scene? I mean, Lobo's a bounty hunter, right? So is someone going to put out a bounty on her? Like maybe that's how they bring in Brainiac, to where he wants to collect the last 1 or 2 Kryptonians, so he hires Lobo to go get them for him. Like maybe, I don't know. There are possibilities.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
I don't think they do it yet, but I mean, they could even pull in the Spectre, because the Spectre has some things with Supergirl, and there's all kinds of, or Constantine.
Yeah,
That whole story intertwined that. But I don't know. I mean, who knows?
John Constantine, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
He's in the
that
Superman
is a
universe.
version.
there is a
Yeah.
version.
But
Constantine
is in DC. Yeah.
is in DC, and there's a version that that Supergirl has where it does some alternate universes, and she's part of Nick? What's the not?
What, Justice League Dark?
Yeah, it's
Well, and also for a while she goes to the future,
yeah, when she goes to the future, and it's the one that does
Legionnaires.
is Brainiac 5's nemesis. Sorry, Seth, I'm going super nerd.
I wouldn't mind seeing John Wick in there, so that's
Yeah.
cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Super
honestly,
Saiyan hair.
if they bring in Constantine, I really like an obscure character. I really hope at some point Etrigan, the demon, comes in.
That
Etrigan
actually would be
so cool.
So cool.
Yeah. So Seth, if you want to see like some cool stuff, Etrigan, look it up. I think Etrigan. Etrigan the demon is a DC character. Very, very cool. Just very neat, obscure character.
all right. So yeah, that's Superman 2025. Let us know if you disagree with us, agree with us. What are your thoughts on the movie overall? Are your wallets opened or closed? And do you think James Gunn can handle the bigger franchise and future Superman movies?
Thanks, everyone. Remember, drop a comment. Don't get on Haterade's side.
Have taste. Agree with me. If we don't hold these people accountable, who will?
That's right. It's up to you, Nick.
I know. It's all on my shoulders.
You have to draw the line in the sand for all
I
of
know.
us.
Yeah.
That's all Nick's trying to do.
I'm just trying to get better products for all of us.
That's right. Completely selfless.
I know.
He's our own Superman, actually.
I mean, you know what? I bet you I can lift more than corn's wet. Yeah. Cream of the crop.